Since this is a fundraiser, I do want to make a few straightforward campaign comments and tell you where we are. For those of you who have stopped counting or lost count, there are 5 of us officially announced candidates for the Democratic nomination in Annapolis. I like the field, and I mean that in 2 ways. I really like the field. They really are very nice people, all of whom I know, and they're good people. I also like the field to run against because I think that I have a couple of points of distinction that are different from all of them that I think really are right on target of what the voters are looking for. One, I think I've got the executive management experience to run the city and the demonstrated capability to do that the others don't. By and large, they are not people who have any management experience in their professional lives or other ways, and so I think that's a tremendous asset that I have, that I can and am pointing out to the voters, and people seem to be very responsive to the fact that my 35 years of executive management experience in government and business is viewed as very helpful to what the city of Annapolis needs. And secondly, a characteristic which I guess for lack of another description I would say is a proven ability to stand up and take your lumps if that's what they be, or at least stand up and advocate for change. I think all of the candidates, probably Democrats, Independents, Republicans, I think they're probably all going to talk about change. And what I will be saying to the voters is look at the candidate who's actually done some things. Look at who it is who stood up on tough issues that this community has debated in the last year or 2, the issues of city manager, the transformation of public housing, the restructuring of the way we police in the community so as to reduce crime, the advocacy that I've been playing of saying, no, the comp plan isn't the right direction for that much density in Annapolis. Those are all tough, important issues that I've studied, that I've researched, that I've taken stands on, that I think prove that not only do I want to make change, but I know how to make change, and to some degree, I got the guts to stand up and say, let's do things different. And I think that that's an important distinction that I will bring to the race. And I will say that I do think that the gravitation of people towards me and support of me, many people say it's because they do view me as a candidate who will challenge the status quo and make the kind of changes that we need to make. And I think that's true. That's why I'm running for mayor. I am running because I think there are things that we need to do differently, and I do want to change the status quo. So I think those are all things that distinguish me from the field that the voters will understand. Speaking of the voters and what we've been up to, we have knocked on 2,000 doors since my kickoff in January until last weekend, over 2,000 I guess, and Dennis has a schedule laid out which gets us out there 5-6 hours every Saturday, every Sunday through September, and in the end I will have knocked on the door and hopefully met every voting Democrat in the city. And I think that is both a wonderful experience for me and hopefully a very useful experience for the voters who get a chance to see me face to face. And what I will tell you is 2,000 doors later, I can say there is a very, very strong desire for change in the city, for a city that will be moving in the direction of doing things more professionally and making changes. So that I feel as though what I bring and what are my distinctive characteristics as a candidate is really connecting with what the voters, when they come to their door, are saying that they want. And I have had what feels like to me a very fine response from that. The other things I'm doing, and JJ being one of my many meetings where we met, as I've been doing all sorts of, whether it's the Ward 1 presentation I made last week, or at a community center of a housing apartment community, or volunteers coming to my house, or whatever. We are engaged in a very extensive series of reaching out to people, saying, if you like what you saw, go tell 10 other people that there is a candidate that you like and support and think can move the city forward, because I think it's going to be a very confusing election to people. I mean, sometimes I go, who is it I'm running against again? You know, I mean, it's a lot of us, so that I think that people who can say to their neighbors and their friends, I know and met this person, and this is someone who would be good, is going to be very helpful. And lastly, I continue to go every single council meeting, work session, budget discussion, whatever is going on in the city, I am there listening and learning. And I guess if there's one thing I would say that was critical of the other folks who would be mayor, is I'm there typically by myself, and I guess I do think if you stand up and you say, I want to be your mayor, you have an obligation day one to know what's going on in the city and what the issues are, and so that's a very important thing that I've been doing that for 1.5 years, and I'm continuing to do that. The net of all of these campaign activities is, I do have to tell you, I am feeling really good. I've never taken this elected office adventure before, but it feels like momentum, it feels like enthusiasm. Somebody who shall go nameless, who's in the audience, was commenting on the energy in the room, and I feel like if a candidate needs two things. A candidate needs energy and optimism, and I feel like I have that, and I get that back from the people that I meet and that I deal with, and I just feel like that this is an election that I can and I will win. I am feeling The city is a national treasure. I've said this before. It is a jewel, and I believe we are its stewards. I believe the next mayor will make many, many critical decisions about how we do things in this community that'll set it on its future course. I do believe we could be better stewards of our national treasure here in Annapolis, and that's what I want to do. I believe we can and we will be a city which is professionally managed, a city which has a vital, active, economically healthy, historic downtown that it's its heart and its soul. I believe that we can manage our growth and development so we don't give away our charm and character that's hometown Annapolis, while still meeting our needs for economic vitality. I believe we can transform our public housing communities and work towards that vision that Larry says of a one Annapolis without segregated, isolated communities. And I think we can keep working on our crime until we are a city that it has comparable crime to other cities of our size. We can, we will. I will be the next mayor, and together we can and we will carry out this vision. Thank you all so very much for coming.